The moment you realize the truth, it might already be too late. Not because the damage is done. Most people don't lose their lives in a single disaster. They don't fall off a cliff. They don't collapse overnight. They fade, slowly and quietly, one harmless decision at a time. Today, you're going to discover how it happens, how time slips through your fingers without pain, and how a decade can vanish without you ever feeling the moment it left. Because the people who understand this truth live differently. They move with intention. They choose with precision. They don't rely on motivation. They rely on systems. They seem disciplined, focused, almost inhuman, but they're not stronger than you. They just learned something most people never do. A hidden law, an ancient mechanism, a silent force that shapes every life from the shadows. And once you understand it, your old self won't survive. Let's begin. Daniel didn't wake up late because his alarm failed. He woke up late because his life did. The morning was ordinary, gray light leaking through the window, the same familiar silence, the same weight in his chest he'd learned to ignore. He stood still for a moment, not rushing, not thinking, just existing. That's when he saw himself. His reflection stared back from the dark glass of the window, not dramatic, not broken, just older, 39. The number landed heavier than it should have, because something inside him whispered a sentence he wasn't prepared to hear. You're not where you thought you'd be. 10 years ago, Daniel had plans, not vague wishes, real intentions. He was going to get fit. He was going to master a skill. He was going to build something meaningful. Not someday, soon. But soon kept moving. Every year he told himself the same story. This isn't the right time. Things will calm down. I'll start once life settles. Life never did. Instead, his days fell into a pattern so familiar it felt invisible. Wake up already tired. Check the phone before his feet touched the floor. Scroll headlines he wouldn't remember. Rush through a day he didn't enjoy. Promise himself change at night. Sedate his mind with entertainment. Fall asleep exhausted but unsatisfied. Repeat. Not failure, not catastrophe. Just delay. And delay is dangerous because it feels safe. Daniel had never made a decision to ruin his life. He simply avoided the ones that could improve it, skipping workouts because work was busy. Choosing comfort over effort, entertainment over growth, silence over courage, each choice felt reasonable, each one felt earned. But none of them were neutral. That's what no one tells you. Every choice casts a vote, not just for what you do, but for who you become. Daniel sat down that morning and felt something unfamiliar. Clarity. Not inspiration, not motivation. Truth. He finally admitted something most people avoid their entire lives. I didn't lose 10 years, he said quietly. I exchanged them. Comfort for progress, ease for meaning, short-term relief for long-term regret. Ancient philosophers warned about this. The Stoics called it unconscious living. Buddhist monks called it ignorance of the mind. Modern psychology calls it default behavior. Different words, same trap. Your brain is designed to conserve energy, to avoid discomfort, to repeat what's familiar. Neuroscientists at Harvard explain that habits form because the brain rewards efficiency, not wisdom. So the mind builds grooves, and once you're in them, you don't need to decide anymore. You just drift. Daniel realized something terrifying. Time hadn't betrayed him. His habits had. They worked silently, patiently, relentlessly. 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there, a decade siphoned away. The most frightening part wasn't the regret. It was the realization that nothing was stopping it from happening again. 10 more years could disappear just as quietly, unless he intervened. But here's where most people fail. They respond with grand promises, extreme resolutions, sudden reinventions. Daniel didn't, because deep down he understood something critical. Big changes don't stick. Small ones compound. This isn't motivation, it's mathematics. So instead of trying to fix his life, he focused on interrupting it. One small decision, executed immediately. He stood up and walked outside instead of scrolling. He read 10 pages instead of none. He wrote one sentence instead of waiting to feel ready. It felt insignificant, almost laughable. But something shifted. For the first time in years, his actions matched his awareness. That night, he went to bed without excitement, but with alignment. And alignment is far more powerful. Weeks passed. Nothing dramatic happened. No sudden success. No applause. No transformation montage. But something invisible was changing. His brain began rewiring itself. Modern neuroscience confirms this. Repetition strengthens neural pathways. Identity follows behavior. Daniel wasn't trying to become disciplined. He was practicing discipline, quietly, daily, without negotiation. Old habits resisted. His mind whispered familiar excuses. You've done enough. You can skip today. Tomorrow will be better. But he had learned the trick. He didn't argue. He acted. Because discipline isn't loud, it's automatic. Months passed, his posture changed, his focus sharpened, his confidence returned, not from affirmations, but from evidence. No one noticed. That's the point. Compounding doesn't announce itself. It whispers. Years later, Daniel stood in front of another window. Same reflection. Different man. Not because he achieved everything, but because he finally understood how life actually works. Your future isn't shaped by intensity. It's shaped by repetition. You don't rise to your goals, you fall to your systems. This isn't a productivity hack, it's a philosophy of existence. Ancient monks understood it, modern science confirms it. The life you wake up to is the result of what you practiced yesterday. And whether you realize it or not, your habits are always working, building you or breaking you. So now the question turns to you. Not tomorrow, not next year, today. What small choice will you repeat until it becomes your destiny? If this video changed the way you see time, discipline, or yourself, subscribe for more and tell me in the comments, what's the first small decision you'll make today?